Hello guys, ShavedApe here, and today I've got some Medal of Honor Warfighter gameplay for you. You know this game, you've seen it before, you love this game, or you hate this game. If you hate it, what is wrong with you? If you love the game, good for you, at least you've got some fucking taste. And you know, the point I guess I'm making there is, if you hate this game, you've got to question why you hate it. What is it that is making you hate it so much? Is it because you can't play it? Be honest. Because, you know, it isn't the easiest game to pick up and play. It's not Battlefield where you just jump in, run and gun and hip fire your way through things. It's not Call of Duty either. It takes a little bit more getting used to, but then once you do, it's pretty fucking good. Get a decent loadout and you'll probably start to kick ass. Simple as that. But anyway, that's not the point of this video. Today is the return of a Pearls of Wisdom video. That's right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs, people of Earth. This is me giving the pearls of my wisdom. A little bit of information on something that I'd completely overlooked, and it hadn't occurred to me that I could maybe share this with you guys. And that is the use of config files in first-person shooters, okay? This will work in just about any first-person shooter on the PC. Now, I can't guarantee I can give you config files for all that, but I am going to link to a website that will create config files for you for a lot of the popular first-person shooters out there, including Battlefield 3, and of course it will do Medal of Honor Warfighter as well. Now, what is a config file? Well, it's basically a text file with a different extension, in all honesty. And the website I'll give you for Medal of Honor tells you to create a text file with the extension of CFG and named autoexec, and it's wrong. It should be user, not autoexec. So just keep that in mind. That's user.cfg, not autoexec.cfg, and then you place it in the root of your install for Medal of Honor. Now for Battlefield 3 I'm pretty sure it says user.cfg, so it's right on that one. And why do we do this? Well, we can do lots of things. We can turn off how much shadows we get and that kind of thing, and limiting things like that can perhaps give us more frames per second, which gives us smoother gameplay. We can perhaps go from what is, let's say, DX11 to DX9. Now you won't see a huge difference in the way things look, but you will get a smoother gameplay maybe because you're not rendering quite as many things the way you are, and so on and so on. So you can change certain things, and I don't change from DX11, by the way, if anyone's wondering. I am on DX11, but you can change certain things and tweak certain things to give you smoother gameplay, faster gameplay because of it, less I want to say input lag, but that's not the word I'm looking for. I guess less FPS lag. You'll find it's smoother to play with. You'll find you're getting better frames per second because you've turned certain things off that you just don't need, that the game's got in there to make it look pretty. You are playing online against people here who will have really good PCs and really bad PCs and in between PCs as well, and you want to get the best possible performance out of your PC. Regardless of how good your PC is, the better the performance you get, the better you're going to perform, because you're not thinking, oh god, I didn't see him. Well, maybe you didn't see him because you had it set on ultra when you should have had it on low, for example. And I've already been through this setting things on low to get more FPS before, so it's again I guess an increase on the tweaks that I've already done, you know. Set things lower if you want to get the shot quicker. It's as simple as that. The smoother your gameplay, the better the game's gonna be. It's as simple as that. Okay. Now, is this legal? Yes, it is. Abso-fucking-lutely. This is legal and has been allowed from, you know, the dawning of FPS games. I mean, it's as simple as that. People have been using config files for as long as FPS games have been around. Now, did they use config files to exploit the game in the past? Of course they did. You know, people are going to cheat when they get a chance to cheat, and yes, doing certain tweaks in the past did mean that people could, you know, exploit a certain setting that you know, gave them an advantage. And you're still kind of doing that now. You're still trying to find an advantage, but the advantage now is just to get smoother gameplay, not, you know, turn off trees, for example, you know. So it's sort of the same sort of thing, but now it's more about just getting the most out of your game rather than trying to exploit the game. And not to say that you know, people that have used configs have been exploiting the game. Certain elements have, obviously, but most people were doing it just to get a better, smoother gameplay. Because while, you know, games might look pretty and beautiful and all that, and games developers want their game to look the best it can look and use these settings to make it look as good as possible, multiplayer gamers and certainly competition gamers don't really care too much about it looking pretty. They want to be able to, you know, get the shot before the other guy gets the shot and that kind of thing. So yeah, we disable certain things for that reason, and that's what the config file does. I use a limiting of FPS, for example. Keeps my card running smoother, or sorry, not smoother, keeps my card running cooler, because I limit my card to 120 frames per second, which means that it won't render any more than 120 frames at any one time, or, you know, and that means less work for the card. It's going to run cooler. Less work means it's going to be better off for my card, and I don't need any more than 120 frames because I have a 120 Hz monitor. Maybe you'll limit it to 60. You know, the settings are there and you can put them in these config files to do that, and it'll give you more control over your game and smooth the game out and so on. You know, try it out, guys. You know, as I say, this website will allow you to build a config file easier than, you know, going and figuring out what everything is, but you should do that too. Get yourself, once you've got your config file, maybe go and put each you know, each one of those settings into the internet and find out what they all mean. That's what I did in the past, and it's what I still do now if I'm unsure. I want to know what it does before I go and turn it on, you know. And then, yeah, try it out for yourself. See if you like what you're seeing. Does it make your game smoother? If it does, great, keep it. If it doesn't, take it out again. It's not the end of the world. It's not going to change things dramatically. You're not going to see a huge difference in the way the game looks, but you are going to see, I would have thought at least, a smoother game. You know, you may find yourself a little bit more accurate, for example. You may find that, yeah, you just might find that the game runs better. Your graphics card runs cooler. You know, those sorts of things. Check it out. See what you think. Let me know what you think, guys. You know, if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, and you want to tell me that I shouldn't be doing this and I shouldn't be doing that, feel free. I might ignore you, but feel free anyway. You know. But yeah, let me know what you think, guys. I'd love to hear from you. I do like hearing from you anyway, because it kind of makes me feel like I'm not just talking to myself in these videos. So leave me a comment, like, share, subscribe. You know the score. You've done it before, and I'm going to leave it at that. This is ShavedApe saying thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. ShavedApe checking out. See you later.